It is Tuesday, July 8th, coming down off of an incredible 4th of July weekend, and we're back in the saddle again. That may or may not be the last time I sing on this very program. The whole crew intact here as we motor along through the summertime and a lot of stuff going on. Fellas, after a long break for us, which was really nice for the first time in 3 years that we've actually done something like that, I'll start in the center. How was 4th of July there, small town Vegas, Mac?
Oh man, we had a great time. Big parade, fireworks, the whole gamut. It was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it.
Back up Terry make his way up to your neck of the woods.
Back up Terry. No, I don't think so.
Back it up. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.
Oh, Lord. DJ, how was your 4th of July?
I just want to say this. It is a great time to be alive because not 30 minutes after the wiener guy did wiener things on Friday, shout out to Hazy Days on YouTube, who live streamed the first half hour of the Oasis reunion show, the first show in 16 years. The brothers are back. And so I was able to watch that before it got pulled off of YouTube. It's a great day. It is a great time. We need each other. It's yes, just all of it. All of it.
All right. We got some like dot matrix shit going on right now. It's pretty damn cool. I got a couple of things. Number one, I am unsupervised. Not on this program, thank God. I am unsupervised in the home for the next 7 days. Mama is on her way up to the PNW. So I will apologize in advance if you hear Barky Barktakamus out there and Meowie McMeowerton outside the studio door here, because I have no control over them this week. They're very lost. They don't know what to do because Mama's gone. She's overdue for some R&R, so she's on her way out of town. So I will apologize over the next 3 days in advance, again, for Barky Barktakamus and Meowie McMeowerton out there. 4th of July was pretty chill. And listen, I don't have a problem with people that have fireworks. I really, really don't. But 4th of July has been going on in my particular neighborhood for the better part of like the last 14 days. In my OG, my original dog, he is very much not a fan. So not only did we deal with, we were dealing with 2 weeks of fireworks, including the knucklehead straight down the street from me that like literally almost blew his own truck up. But, I was just there to watch. Plenty of firefighters in the neighborhood. We're all safe. But our AC goes out on, I believe it was Saturday night. And it's out through the night. They send somebody out. Homie was here. Shout out to Monty. He was here like literally all day on freaking Sunday. Some kind of electrical witchcraft. Got it fixed. Went out overnight again Sunday night. And it was just a temporary fix because it was a major electrical issue. They had to send out Master Tech or whatever, the nines. And then it goes out in the middle of the day, Monday. Mama was sleeping in the closet in the main room with the dog that was scared of the fireworks. And then our new dog just likes to bark for the hell of it. So again, whatever the hell happens out there. But guys, there's been a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff still going on. Thursday, we're going to put a bow on the NHL free agency, make some way too early picks for next year. Today, we're going to put a bow on NBA free agency for everybody but Jonathan Kuminga. See what happens in life when you get bad advice, kids, and make some way too early NBA picks. A lot of stuff going on in Major League Baseball. And guys, that's where we're going to start. Last night on the diamond, the Detroit Tigers get hot, stay hot. The Tigers win 5-1 behind Cater Montero. He gets the win. Shane Boz took the loss for Tampa. 7 of the 9 hits for the Tigers last night were extra base hits. Homers by Baez, McKinstry. Colt Keith had himself a night. 3 for 4. 2 runs, a homer, 2 doubles, an RBI. They showed a really interesting graphic. And T, I know you said this a week ago when we were last on. Mac is all aboard that Tiger train. Go Tigers. Not those Tigers, but you know what I'm talking about. He's probably already got the Magnum PI, Tom Selleck freaking Tiger hat order. We're not on that side. They showed an interesting graphic last night during the game and the similarities between the 84 Tigers and this year's team. And it's really, really scary, T, because like all the way down to the time of the games that these two teams played, 84 and this year's team, it's really, really scary. And last night was kind of proof what this Tigers team is capable of. And we're going to get to the Tigers a little bit later in more detail, but they can slug with anybody. And I think that's what makes them so dangerous. I think I know why you're leery on them. But last night, they proved it again. They didn't score 15 runs, but they didn't have to last night in the 5-1 victory.
They are on such an incredible heater going back to last season that it's unreal. Like, they have literally won over 100 games in their last 162. They played phenomenal baseball. And it's one of those things where I'm not sure, like, what's going to happen first. Like, it's got to hold up for an entire season. It's got to hold up through September and October. And right now I'm still at the point where you got to show me with this young team that they can hold it together. But they're definitely the class of the American League right now.
Yeah, Mac, 14-5 against the American League East are the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lineup that, I mean, it's kind of funny. They actually have two people that could win comeback player of the year, and Torkelson and Javi Baez. I mean, Baez is batting ninth, and he's hitting 280. I mean, he's had just a phenomenal year. I like what this team can do. I just, their lineup is a lot of young guys. I mean, again, Riley Green has had a great year. I mean, and Torkelson, I mean, yeah, his average isn't great. It's at 235, but I mean, compared to what it was the last couple of years, around 206. I mean, he's having a really, really good year. Here's the thing. The Tigers in the offseason, I mean, they went after Bregman. They went after the big names. I think that's what's going to – I think they're going to be one of the active teams come the trade deadline. They're all in this year. This is a good, solid team. And here's, we don't even talk about like Gleyber Torres on this team. He kind of gets overlooked a little bit. And I mean, just another guy, McKinstry. I mean, this team is just loaded from top to bottom with good young talent.
Yeah, an MLB best record, an MLB best 50-2 when leading after 6 innings. Speaking of Wiener Kings, my guy Dick Fitz last night gets the win for your beloved Red Sox, Vegas Mac. He moves to 1-3 on the season. Austin Gomber takes the loss for the Rockies. And the long ball, again, part of it for the Red Sox last night. Rafaela Gonzalez and Roman Anthony hit his first bomb at Fenway, and that was a freaking nuke. Thank you very much, Roman. I was on your side on home run picks last night, but a big win for the Red Sox in a series that they really should take everything because they're playing the Rocks.
Yeah, and I mean this is the series that they have to, kind of sweep, if you will. Their schedule is it's like the Giants. We talked about the Giants having that gauntlet. The Red Sox kind of going in and coming out of the All-Star break. They have the Rays, and then after the All-Star break, they go to the Cubs. They go to the Phillies. They play the Dodgers. They play at Minnesota, and then they play Houston. That's quite the gauntlet coming out of the All-Star break. But listen, they've played well over the last couple of weeks. They've gotten themselves back into it. They're going to get Alex Bregman back probably this week. They may even get a couple of other guys back off the DL. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be they have a lot of outfielders. I mean, again, this is another team, the Red Sox, that is going to be, I think, active in the trade deadline. And they have some good players because, as far as I know, there's only 3 spots in the outfield, and they have like 6 outfielders.
Does it really count when you beat the Rockies right now, though? I mean, come on. And you're going to get batting practice.
We said.
You're going to get batting practice Freeland tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say.
and then batting practice Senzatella tomorrow. Come on, this Red Sox team needs to make a splash. They are fading fast. This is a great way for this team to get healthy in a hurry going into the weekend. So yes, I'm excited that the Red Sox are playing a little bit better for your sake, Mac, but we're going to put a little asterisk on these 3 games.
All right, I'm gonna break you two up before this gets to fisticuffs here. My guy Jansen Junk got another win last night. I got to stop making fun of him. He's 3-1 for the Fish now as they beat the Reds 5-1 last night. Brady Singer takes another loss. He drops to 7-7 for the Reds. And, you know, this Marlins team is starting to play really, really good baseball, Mac. They're 41-48 now. And I know that's not going to blow the doors off anybody, but they've really, really hit a good couple of weeks stretch here. They look completely different than the team we saw at the beginning of the season. That's a nice win for them against a very good Cincinnati team, a Cincinnati team that a lot of people are kind of high on.
Yeah, and it's been their pitching that's kind of done it. Their starting pitching has been really, really good through the course of the last week or so. You know, again, they're 11 games out of the East, 7.5 out of the wild card. I mean, it's not out of the realm, that they could make a run. This is a team, like you said, like in Miami, that a lot of people thought some of the pieces would be traded off come the deadline, but they're playing really, really well. I've seen them quite a bit the last couple of weeks. They're a fun little team to watch.
Well, 4 games against Cincinnati and then 3 into the weekend against Baltimore. Very good opportunity for the Marlins to make up some ground here against some teams that are playing kind of middle of the road baseball. So good for the Marlins, though. You know, we get all this Florida experiment with baseball always gets poo-pooed because nobody goes to the games or whatever, but slowly but surely the Rays are sticking around and the Marlins are trying to put it together. So I hope they can at least stay in it and play some meaningful games into August and September.
Yeah, absolutely. The Dodgers last night, they lose their 4th straight game. Yoshinobu Yamamoto got jacked all around American Family Fields last night. They lose 9-1 to the Brewers. Andrew Vaughn, first at bat as a Brewer, and he put Bernie down the slide. Tyler Glasnow comes off the DL tonight for the Dodgers. He will start. And again, we've talked about this with the Dodgers. You can never have too much pitching. And even when you have 57 starting pitchers, it's not enough pitching. Dodgers have hit a little bit of a rough patch here, and the Brewers are playing good baseball right now as well, Mac.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of high on the Brewers. I liked what the Brewers are doing. Again, do you know who's pitching tonight for Milwaukee?
Is it your boy?
The Miz! It's the Miz. So had a rough start his last time out, but listen, I really like this team. I mean, Peralta getting the win. I mean, he's really played well. We've said this. Any Pat Murphy team is going to be right in there to the end. I mean, for me, I love Pat Murphy. I mean, I think he's a really, really good coach. I love what this team is doing. Christian Yelich with a home run last night. They just continue to do it. It'll be interesting to see. They did lose Rhys Hoskins to that injury. So, I mean, that kind of hurts them a little bit. They're not like the Dodgers. They're not deep. They don't have, like you said, 67 pitchers and 200 people on the IL. But this is Brewers team. They're still in the wild card, and I love the way that they're playing.
But if you have 67 starting pitchers, do you really have any? I'm really confounded with this Dodger team right now. The decision making at Saturday's game was atrocious by Dave Roberts. He makes a decision and then 20 seconds later switches and he just can't. I don't know what they're doing. It's hard to believe that this team, with all of the stars and all of the quote pitching and all of the hype, gets swept by the Astros like they were a bunch of little leaguers. They did not belong on the same field the entire weekend as Houston. So the Dodgers really need to get their crap together here.
Hey, T, I've got a question for you.
Go ahead. As I drink out of my Dodgers Hollow Live cup that I got on Saturday.
Oh, Very nice. Now, do you sit in the same damn seats every time you go to the world's largest outdoor toilet?
No, I just lucked out this time. It was a little bit higher up. But
yeah, I mean, apparently TJ was the Christian Walker cooler, because the only time Christian Walker didn't hit a home run against the Dodgers was the night you were there. So thanks a lot for that one. Last night, Royals and Pirates 9-3. The Royals actually scored some runs last night. What a concept. Hey. The K, Kauffman Stadium last night, had their first 5 home run game of the season. Pasquale, Salvi, Bobby Witt Jr. So that was their first 5 home run game at the K this season. I've got a question for both of you guys. We'll start in the middle, and then we'll go to TJ here. One stadium in the big leagues hasn't had a 5 home run game this year. Can you name that stadium?
Man.
It's a good one. I'll give you guys a hint. It is a National League stadium.
Yeah,
you didn't think
I'll
there
say
was going
San
to be
Diego.
Brain usage today, did you?
I'll say Petco.
Incorrect.
Petco, no?
Incorrect. TJ.
Lone Depot Park.
No, it is actually American Family Fields in Milwaukee. Has not had a 5 home run game this season. That's the only stadium. Now, since I'm in a trivia asking mood, apparently, and this comes from our friends over at Ballpark Pal. Which 2 stadiums are tied for the most 5 homer games this season? One is in the National League, one is in the American League.
I'll say
that Bambox. Go ahead, Mac.
I'll say Detroit and Arizona.
Both incorrect.
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay and LA.
LA is correct on the National League side. Toronto, the Rogers Center, is the other one in the American League. All right, enough trivia because you guys suck at it today. Toronto, speaking of the Blue Jays, who were not at Rogers Center last night, they were at Rate Field in Chicago to take on the White Sox, and they get another win. That is 9 straight for Toronto. They lead the American League East by 3.5 games. Barrios with the win, and Burke with the loss for the Chi Sox. This Toronto team, man, they are ripping off some major vibes for me right now, Mac. And I know it's a team that you've been particularly high on for the last couple of seasons. Next week on Tuesday, we will revisit our really shitty predictions from the beginning of the season. But the Blue Jays are one team that you've been high on, and they are running one hell of a high right now in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I always like their pitching staff, and then offensively, they're starting to really kind of put it together. It's interesting to see if the contract with Guerrero kind of settled him down, a little bit. Bichette's having a good year, and this, I mean, you watch this Toronto team. I mean, they're having a lot of fun. You can tell when teams are having fun playing baseball games. This is a Toronto team. That just seems like they finally kind of put it together. But they look like they're having a lot of fun playing some baseball, and they're getting it every night. Whether it's Guerrero one night, Springer basically won that series against the Yankees. Again, I really like the way this Toronto team is constructed.
Yeah, and what a call up Addison Barger has been. Holy smokes, that guy is plastering the baseball right now. And this team looks like a bunch of former algebra teachers of mine, like Davis Schneider. Who the hell is that? Oh, he's just somebody's going to pop for 2 dongs in a game. I've watched quite a few Blue Jays games this season. For some reason, I have no idea why, but they are playing great baseball. The pitching needs to hang in there. I would like to see them get a couple more arms. I don't know if they have enough to get it done at this point, but man, this team it's a different guy, literally a different guy every night, whether it's Springer or Schneider or Clement, bat of cement, whatever it is.
RJ Computer Geek jumping in there. That does look like quite the conundrum. The Stros and the Blue Jays, that could be an ALCS matchup right there. Fun times in both of those squads. So thanks for the comment. Feel free to comment along If you're watching along with us, we appreciate it. Follow us on all of our social channels at Mike Arana Show, everywhere but Snapchat. TJ, why are we not on Snapchat?
Because Snapchat sucks and we're not 12.
You know what? You know what else has sucked? The Cleveland Guardians for the last 10 games going into last night, and they beat those red hot Astros to snap that 10-game losing streak. 7-5 in Houston last night. Ramirez and Fry homer. Rocchio adds a 2-run double, and that big win for the Guardians that were just, and like everybody else, Mac, and we talked about this last week in the American League Central. Everybody but Detroit has been absolutely dreadful in the American League Central this year. Big win for the Guards to snap that streak.
Yeah, I mean they've been just struggling to score runs. It's been just I mean, yeah, that Central is just nobody can seem to get any sort of traction. But Kansas City, Minnesota, it doesn't matter. I mean, Detroit just going through everybody. Houston, I look, they haven't lost a series since May. The last series they lost was against Tampa Bay in May. They have 11 series wins and 2 splits in their series. Again, I don't know how Houston's doing it, but they just can continue to win. I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, like you said, TJ, to go into LA and just completely handle the Dodgers like that. I mean, of course, we know that Hunter Brown has been really, really good for them. But man, oh man, this Astros team is scary.
Yeah, they're surprising. They're surprising me anyway. But go back to the Guardians. How many teams are in Major League Baseball? 30. The Guardians are 26th or worse in all major offensive categories. So saying they're struggling to score runs is probably the understatement of today's show. They definitely need to get it together if they have any prayer of jumping 1, 2, 3 a lot of teams by the time they get to October.
I like the math there.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, a lot of teams there. That's a fun way to do math. That's the way math makes sense to my dumb ass. The Angels, they beat the Texas Rangers, who actually scored more than 2 runs last night, 6-5. What was your nickname for the guy who got the win for the Halos last night? Because I don't want to screw this up, TJ, and you made me about piss myself when you said this last week.
Are we talking about the Travis?
No, the closer who got the victory last
night. Oh, Kenley Boxton.
Kenley Janbach. Yeah, Kenley Janbach. That was it. A game that I didn't expect to see a whole lot of runs up front, and there were some fireworks early in this one. The Angels, they're hanging around. The Rangers, they're hanging around. Again, I asked the question yesterday, Mac. Apparently, there's no slump busters in Texas because this team, like 5 runs, they might throw a parade right now with this Rangers team. They are the biggest head scratcher for me, Mac, in all of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, we thought that they were going to be a whole heck of a lot better, especially offensively, and they're not. I mean, Corey Seager hit a home run last night. They need him to kind of get hot, but yeah, I mean, this Rangers team is kind of a little bit of a hot mess. Nathan Eovaldi going tonight. I like that, but I do have to say, the Angels last night with their throwback uniforms to the California Angels. They need to just bring those back. Those are nice. I like those.
TJ probably got 7 of them.
The whole market, this whole team has gone in the crapper ever since they added Los Angeles to this team name. Just get that crap out of here and call them California, call them Anaheim. I don't get, who gives a just pick something. It's not Los Angeles. It gives out definite 80s Rams vibes, but look, the Rangers are the best in the league in runs allowed. They don't have to score a lot of runs to win with this pitching staff, and they can't do it. And that's got to be frustrating for the Rangers, especially with all of the firepower that they have. So, I mean, I'm not sad about it, but at the same time, tonight, well, I'm going to save it for later, actually. So I'll save it.
If anybody is more equipped to manage a team with a great pitching staff that can't score runs than Bruce Bochy, I don't know who the hell it is. It's got to be circa like back to his Giants run kind of vibes there. I got to apologize. In yesterday's video, maybe it was heat exhaustion. I thought the Diamondbacks were playing the Padres here. And then when I got to see the highlights, because God forbid 30 minutes away from where the Diamondbacks play, I could watch the damn team. Good job, Rob Manfred. They were actually in Petco. And I'm like, wow, that really looks like Petco. Because it was, dumbass. The Diamondbacks got a win 6-3 last night. Zach Gallen gets the win. The Diamondbacks bullpen does not blow the game. Interesting stuff here. We've talked about the snake bit Diamondbacks this season. Ketel Marte scratched right before the game with groin tightness. We all can feel that was going to come out way wrong. We all sympathize with groin tightness. Something to keep an eye on there. Another all-star season for Marte. Big win for the Snakes last night. They're hanging around 45-46, Mac. I still think it would be detrimental to the long-term health of this franchise if they follow Mike Hazen's path and they are going to be buyers at the deadline. This team doesn't have it, but when you're hanging around at that mark, if you can rattle off 7 or 8, Mac, we know what happens. I just don't see it here. Manny Machado last night, 2,000 career hits finally.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Mike. I just don't think the Diamondbacks are a playoff winning team. They may be a playoff team, but I don't think they're a playoff winning team. And I think that's the big thing. And you know, they have some pieces that they can sell off. And you know, again, you know, we're talking about a Zach Gallen, talking about Merrill Kelly, Gino Suarez, and Naylor. I mean, these are pieces that, you know, contending teams, I mean, would like to have, even though, you know, Zach Gallen probably hasn't pitched, you know, great. It's still a pretty good arm that a team would definitely want to get a hold of. I just, you know, like you said, it's exactly like the Diamondbacks are just kind of hanging around. You know, they win 4 or 5, they lose 8 or 9, they win 4 or 5. They just don't seem like they can get over that hump, whether it's injuries or they're just not. I mean, we want to, like you said, we've mentioned a ton of times, the bullpen is just atrocious. But this is not a playoff winning team.
Well, they got 2 weeks to figure it out, Mac, because they got to decide if they're going to be buyers or sellers. And at this point, I agree with you, Mike. I think this team sells. 3rd in runs scored and 26th in runs allowed. That just shows you how awful the pitching has been this year. From a team that last year, I don't remember the pitching being that much of an issue last year. So, yeah, they got a couple weeks to figure it out. If they win 10 in a row, then you know you do Mike Hazen. But I'm not. I'd sell the D-backs every day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, the last game last night shows what I know. The Giants actually beat a left-handed pitcher in a really good one last night, even though Christopher Sanchez did not take the loss. Orion Kerkering did for the Phils. Rogers gets the win for the Giants. Camilo Duvall gets his 14th save of the season as the Giants beat the Phils 3-1 in a game where Phil Cuzzy redefined what it is to be an absolutely shitty umpire last night. I mean, it worked for the Giants, but that game, as a baseball fan, take off my Giants hat, which I haven't worn all season, and we know what I think about this Giants team. But he was absolutely god-awful horrible last night. One of the worst strike zones I've ever seen. Giants get a big win. They remain 8 games over 500 as they move into game 2 of that series tonight. Again, Mac, I don't know if I can say anything else about this team other than the fact that the Red Sox have a better record than the Giants since the Devers trade. Matt Chapman's back for the Giants, and I know that is going to give them a little bit of a boost here. He is a way bigger part of that lineup than a lot of people realize. But these are 2 teams, both of them in the Giants and Phils. I don't know what to make of either one of them right now.
Yeah, I mean, Philly had a nice run a couple of weeks ago, kind of boosted them into first place. You know, you're right though. I mean, but the Giants are kind of on the back half of that gauntlet that you talked about, you know, a couple of weeks ago now, and they're just continuing to get it done. I mean, 8 games above 500 is not bad at all. I mean, they have the pitching, I think, that can kind of. I kind of compare them a lot with the Diamondbacks. I mean, I just trust the Giants pitching more than I trust the Diamondbacks pitching. And so, I mean, that's a big factor and why I think the Giants have had the stability and you know, again, in that final wild card spot right now. I trust the Giants more than I trust the Padres. I'll tell you that.
But do you trust the Giants offense at this point? That would be the question for me. Yes, the pitching has been fantastic, but can they score enough runs to get through October?
Well, that and the fact, guys, that we have to remember with this Giants team is unless I've missed the memo, Major League Baseball hasn't changed the playoff format to best of threes, where it can be Logan Webb and Robbie Ray pitching every single playoff game for the Giants. That's the problem here. Now, is Buster Posey going to go out and make a big move? We'll see. Robbie Ray, the aforementioned, 9-3, 2.68 ERA. Easy for you to say, pitching tonight against Taijuan Walker for the Phils. We got 3 new series starting tonight: the Cubs and the Twins, the Nats with their new regime, I guess you can call it. Miguel Cairo, first game as interim manager after Davey Martinez and Mike Rizzo were fired. The timing of that was extremely interesting to me. We'll talk about that a little bit more on Thursday. Also, the Braves are in West Sac against the artist formerly known as the Oakland Athletics, and their folding chairs that they charge $150 for as premium seating tonight to take on the A's. Real quick here, guys, and we'll get more into this on Thursday, but All-Star nods come out. We're not going to beat this over the head. Again, we'll get more into this on Thursday, but every year there's snubs. Let's go around the horn here. I'll start, and then we'll go to Mac and TJ. I don't understand how it is logically possible to leave the Major League Baseball leader in RBIs off a freaking all-star team in Seiya Suzuki. That being said, I also don't understand how the hell Julio Rodriguez is an all-star. And I also would have liked to have seen Joe Adell as an all-star. I think you can make some cases for a lot of other guys there. But Joe Adell has been the best Halo since May 1st, and a big reason why the Halos are in this position. So those are just my quick thoughts. Again, we'll get more into that on Thursday. Snubs, Mac, what do you got? What jumped out to you?
I'll keep it in-house. I don't think Alex Bregman, he's been out for a while. I don't think he should be on the All-Star team. But I do think, like I said, I'm going to keep it in-house. I do think Cedar Rafaela should be on the All-Star team. He's without a doubt, I'm just going to say, I think he's the best center fielder in baseball right now. And offensively, he's been really, really good. Had a great month of June. And so I would have rather seen him in instead of Alex Bregman.
See?
You guys took my 2. Cedar has had a fantastic year. I've been very impressed with him. And then Joe Show, I mean, come on, every Friday he's must watch. But yes, he is the reason why the Angels are hanging around. He is by far with Trout still not 100% really, and Taylor Ward hitting 209. It's been Joe Adell and Nolan Schanuel getting this lineup into contention, if you want to call it that.
The Western Sacramento Nomads. I like that one. Yeah, again, we'll get more into this when we've got some more time on Thursday, but interesting stuff. Absolutely. It would be refreshing, and I know it'll never happen because guys get bonuses and all that stuff, but it'd be really cool to see a guy who got voted in go, hey, thanks, I appreciate it, but I would really rather give my spot to this guy because he's earned it. It'd be cool to see the players do that amongst the other players. It's not going to happen. It's time to play a game.
Sweet.
I like games.
High or buy. I'm going to give you guys 4 scenarios here. You tell me if I'm token or you're buying with me on this one, and I will start with you, Mac. These are 4 things that I absolutely believe are going to happen in sports in the upcoming calendar year. I can be high or you can buy and tell me why. Mac, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win the AFC North and enter the AFC playoffs as the 2 seed in the AFC. High or buy?
I'm buying. And I'll tell you why. This is a pretty good offense. And you see by what they've done to, of course, improve their defense, because that's what they always do. I think that division is got some question marks. Cleveland's got 9 quarterbacks. Baltimore, still has to figure it out. They still can't, they still don't win the big ones. And Pittsburgh always seems like that's one team that plays well against against Baltimore is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They don't have that fear of the Baltimore Ravens, and they play well against them. I honestly think the Steelers are going to kind of surprise a lot of people this year.
All right, TJ. Toronto, not Detroit, wins the American League pennant. High or buy?
I'd buy that. I'd buy that. Like I said, I'm not sold on this Detroit team. I need to see more of a sample size. Granted, I'm not terribly sold on this Toronto team either. But this Toronto team, what I've noticed over the last, this team can score runs, especially at home. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them win the pennant. But that's going to be a tall order. That playoff, just looking at it where it is now, that's going to be a tough go for anybody to come out of.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Mac, final one for you. Golf has made its way across the pond this week, the Genesis Scottish Open and the Open Championship at Royal Portrush. We won't talk about Mike versus Mac because nobody's here to find anything out about that. Scotty Scheffler wins at least one time in the next 2 weeks. High or buy?
I'm going to have to buy that one. There's a reason. I don't really want to discuss
the best damn golfer on the planet.
But yeah, I think he will. I think he'll win one of the two in the next couple weeks.
All right, last one for you, TJ. Try and keep your composure on this one. The Las Vegas Raiders with Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll will make the playoffs in 2025.
You live by the pizza roll and you die by the pizza roll. That's going to depend on how. I'm very interested to see this Geno Smith Pete Carroll reunion and how it works out. And I've heard some rumors and seen some things that Beast Mode is consulting with Ashton Genty a little bit about how he can fit in with this whole Raider mystique and with Pete Carroll. So I'm gonna buy that, but I'm gonna give you a Lincoln instead of a Jackson.
Cheap ass. Well, we could have had a lot more of those on Friday, but somebody had to screw dollar dingers. Anyways.
Yeah. What was up with that?
What was up with what?
What was up with that?
I'm surprised you waited 38 minutes to have me lead you to it. Dollar dingers on Friday. TJ just mentioned the Joe Show. 2 consecutive weeks Joe has homered for us on Friday. We've moved to a staunch 3-12. Stanch 3-12 on the season. But Mac got us started Friday with Juan Soto as him and Judge traded homers in the beginning of the Yankees-Mets game. Epic trolling going on by the Mets scoreboard operators this weekend, by the way. The filters changing Yankee hats to Mets hats, and a lot of good stuff there. And then Joe Adell hit a absolute bomb in Toronto. And I'm kind of in and out of it. I mean, granted, I did watch the entire Rockies-White Sox series this weekend, and then I get a text from both of these two jackasses on the screen here. You're up, Benintendi. Now, full disclosure here. When we talked about getting the picks in so we could enjoy the 4th of July break, which is a first for us, and I can speak for all of us. I know we enjoyed it. I didn't really look at the schedule Friday. I knew I was going to be watching Rockies and White Sox, and I just said, you know what? I've got to have a reason to watch this. Never mind Mickey Moniak, Hunter Goodman, any number of other guys I could have went with. Benintendi leads the White Sox in home runs. Not even freaking close. And then later that night, I went, shit, I forgot that Christian Walker was playing with the Astros for just a brief second because he was a Diamondback for so long. And it was funny because it came up in my memories the other day from the double dollar dingers we did last 4th of July. And ironically, on that one, Mac was the one that didn't get the homer. I had Gunnar Henderson. Mac went with Salvi Perez that day. And I remember that game because he hit one to the warning track. And TJ, because he was going to be at the game, went with Christian Walker. And that's when he went on that barrage. Mm-hmm. And of course, so when Christian Walker started his home run streak against the Dodgers, TJ was there. And when Christian Walker finally didn't hit a home run in Dodger Stadium, TJ was there. So TJ, Christian Walker, I don't know. There's something going on there. But interesting stuff. We will get back on the horse today, and we are going to hit this thing. Those of you that have been following us long enough, we appreciate it. We have not hit all 3 of them in one night. Ironically, our biggest repeat offender in killing the 3 home runs has been Shohei Ohtani as the third leg multiple times. Is tonight the night? We'll find out. Let's talk a little NBA and put a bow on this NBA offseason, whether Jonathan Kuminga wants to participate in it or not. But a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of deals. Paulo Banchero gets paid yesterday by the Magic. Not surprised there. We've talked about this Magic team, guys. I'm not super high on them. We get the no shit news yesterday that Halliburton will be out for the entire year next year. Mike Brown officially announced now as the Knicks coach. All the deals became official. I'm not going to sit here and waste any of our time on the historical 7-team trade because it was really nothing. We just threw a bunch of shit in different places to make it all work. Yeah, cool. 7 teams. Call me when there's 7 teams that actually trade 7 teams worth of players back and forth. But again, we knew what the bulk of that deal was. It was Durant to Houston, Brooks, and Jalen Green out here. Nothing really that exciting. But now that the dust has settled, again, for everybody but Jonathan Kuminga, I wanted to look at some winners and losers, and I have a plan to fix the NBA since I have to do it. It seems like at least once a month during the season, I'm having to do Adam Silver's job for him, and I'm not getting paid anywhere near it, but I have the plan to fix the NBA. Offseason winners and losers. I'll start with the winner. I've said it a couple of times. I will say it again. I absolutely love what the Denver Nuggets did. Denver knows that they're going to go to the Joker with a contract extension, and what they had currently constructed there was not going to work. Mm-hmm. What do? They go out and get Cam Johnson, open up a bunch of money. They bring in Jonas Valanciunas, who tried to bolt to Greece, and they told him, no, you're expected to honor your contract, sir. And I mean, I'm sure Joker would rather have Vooch from the Bulls anyways, but I love the pickup of Valanciunas. They bring back Bruce Brown, who was a massively underrated part of their championship team a couple years ago. And then they bring in Tim Hardaway Jr. I love what Denver has done. And I love when an organization goes, we need to make sure our all-world, one of the best players in the history of the NBA, doesn't ever leave here. And they did exactly that. So for me, the biggest winner in the NBA, and I'll start with you here first, TJ, on yours. To me, and other teams did some good stuff, but I think in the hierarchy that is the West, and again, we talked about this last week, and I think people forget about this because of the Thunder, they got the job done. The Nuggets pushed the Thunder to the brink, and they just completely reloaded this team. I'm really excited to see Denver next season.
Oh, yeah, me too. You're exactly right. What Denver did in recognizing they're trying to get ahead of this thing with Jokic, and I think it's a great move because they're showing that, hey, we want you here, and we want you here bad enough that we're going to go and revamp our roster to make it a team, not just a winner, because they are winners, but a team that's going to go and beat Oklahoma City in the playoffs next year. Love what Denver has done. I couldn't agree with you more.
Give me your big winner, T.
Man, that's tough. But I've been very impressed from the get-go. And so this is kind of like first off, I'm glad that the Suns got out of the Kevin Durant thing because that was a disaster from the start, trying to get some sort of super team or whatever. That just was just a garbage. But I really like how Oklahoma City played the long game here with the rebuild, because they're sitting on all this talent. They give the extension to SGA, but this team is like, they're not going to get worse. They have all these players, they have all these picks, they have all this talent. They played this perfectly. So they're still a winner in my book.
Mac, big winner.
Listen, this team was the number 2 ranked team going into the playoffs. They didn't have a superstar. They were young, they were deep, they were exciting, but they were flawed. That's the Houston Rockets. They went and got Van Vliet. They got Clinton Capella, Dorian Finney-Smith. This is now a deep, balanced, and a much better team to take on the Thunder. I just definitely like what Houston did. The way Emi Udoka and his defensive mentality. I mean, they've got a lot of depth at center, which I think they may use to trade during the season because they have that depth. But I absolutely love what Houston did in this offseason. I think they're big winners.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun going into next year, and we're going to make some way too early predictions for next season based on some early odds that have come out here. Let's go through a couple of losers here before we get to my new NBA proposal. To me, the biggest loser, as I'm literally reading an article about more bullshit and nothing, is Jonathan Kuminga. And I think there's a lot of times in life when you can go through life and get some really bad advice. And I think Kuminga got that. And I think the Naz Reid deal was kind of the final nail in the coffin. We talked about the market this year for restricted free agents, and it really wasn't much of anything. And again, you can go back through our show and on our social channels at Mike Arana Show, and you can see last year when I was screaming from the rooftops, Golden State needs to move Kuminga now, so they're not stuck in this exact position. So there's still the sign and trade option, but for people that don't understand the NBA's rules and everything else, you got to remember, if there is a sign and trade here, Kuminga's new deal, his salary going out, that's what it counts as going out. It's not just, oh yeah, you sign him, we'll pay him. You got to make the numbers match. There was a report that came out this weekend. It sounds like Miami is still very much interested in that. Sacramento thought they could strong arm the Warriors into making that move. Like the Warriors, it is what it is. He signs a qualifying offer. He bets on himself. He comes back. The Warriors can move him later. There's a sign and trade, and it sounds like Miami might be the most likely scenario because Miami does have some pieces that they can send back. But again, we're sitting here at this point, and I think we need to very much put this in context for people. We talked about this last week. The Warriors couldn't go out and make a big move because they did that last year at the deadline in acquiring Jimmy Butler. And within their circles, there's a lot of people that believe a healthy Butler, a healthy Green, and a healthy Curry, that team is still very competitive in the West. And it's likely that they will make another big move before the deadline next year. Now, whether or not Al Horford retires or finally actually signs with Golden State, we'll find out. Some funny stuff going around X this weekend. Al Horford is literally tying his shoes in the Warriors facility right now. Deal is imminent. But the Warriors weren't going to be able to do anything. But again, this whole situation is just like, how much more can you say we don't want you than saying we don't want you because he still doesn't have a deal? And oh, by the way, JK, nobody wants you out there that bad either, because if you were going to get a massive contract offer as a restricted free agent, you already would have done it. So again, I think this is on both sides of this, but the Warriors still have the leverage here, and I'm not surprised. So, hey, look who's checking in. Our guys, Herb and Raj. Appreciate that, fellas. We will talk to those guys very, very soon. It's almost football season. Give me your loser in free agency, TJ.
I'm going to stay here and say the Lakers because I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Neither do they.
Nothing.
Nothing. It's like, remember when the Suns we used to call them a donut team because they were great around the perimeter and nothing in the middle? That's what the Lakers are reminding me of right now. And even with their recent acquisition, I still think they're a donut team. But this team will never, I cannot take this team seriously until they move away from LeBron James. I can't take him seriously. And so you can have Luka and Austin Reeves and Joe Bag of Donuts and whoever you want.
They already
this
have
team
him.
will not this team will not be serious until they move on from LeBron.
Joe Bag of Donuts is one of their 72 guys that can shoot from the outside, but the 72 guys that can shoot from the outside that can't defend the outside. This is why I like these guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about soft serve yet. But yeah, that's exactly it. Like, at least he's a center. And Mac, you and I have talked about this off camera plenty of times. We've talked about it on camera a few times. Like, if DeAndre Ayton would have signed anywhere outside of the Lakers, well, you know what? He's a former #1 pick, and he just hasn't materialized anything. But if he signed with the Lakers, it was untapped potential, hasn't been used right. I really wonder how many people have actually spent time watching DeAndre Ayton play. The dude is soft. He's afraid of icy roads. I mean, he is the ridiculous, but he's a Laker, so he's probably the next Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is this with the Lakers. I mean, they're not in it for this year. I mean, that's the bottom line. Let's just be honest. This is not going to be a year that they're concerned. They're looking to build in the future, 26, 27. That's what the Lakers are doing. They're not going to come out and say it, but that's the bottom line. That's what they're trying to do. And the other thing is they're not going to say it, but they do. They want to try to get rid of LeBron. He's not part of the future of the Lakers. That's all there is to it.
Give us your big loser of free agency, Mac, and then we'll make some way too early predictions. My finals prediction for next year is going to shock the hell out of you.
I think for me, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. You talk about a team that just, I don't get it. I mean, you're now, you've Bobby Bonilla'd this contract. For the next 5 years, you're going to start in the hole $22 million. I mean, for what? For Miles Turner? I mean, Miles Turner, he's what you think. I mean, and again, nothing against Miles Turner. He's a good player, but is he that guy that takes you from wherever Milwaukee was, middle of the road in the Eastern Conference? Now they're an elite Eastern Conference contender. I don't think so. I mean, no offense, this will probably, I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't know that there's much difference between Miles Turner and Brook Lopez, who they lost. I really don't. I mean, to me, they're kind of the same player, maybe a little bit of an advantage, but not too much. For me, I'm totally confused because you've done all this because hopefully you're going to keep Giannis, and you don't even know if that's going to happen. So what happens if he doesn't come back? Now what have you done? You've completely destroyed this team. To me, that just doesn't make sense at all from top to bottom.
Two things here. Number one, on your Lopez Turner point, I agree with you. I think you definitely get a little more of an offensive game in Turner. I think defensively they're about similar there. Number two, all they were trying to do was help the Phoenix Suns, who don't know their ass in a hole in the ground most of the time, and showing them what to do with Bradley Beal so he can just go be a Clipper and join that mess where they have plenty of toilets inside the Intuit Dome. Have you been to the Intuit Dome yet, TJ?
No, I will be going for the first time in November, but not for Clippers basketball.
Are you going for underwater basket weaving?
No, but that is a venue that I would definitely go to watch it. I'm going to a concert.
And it's not Oasis.
Ooh. No, I'm going to see them at the Rose Bowl. I'm going to see Eric Church at the Intuit Dome.
The Chief. That'd be a fun show in that place.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Let's make some way too early predictions based on what we've seen in free agency. I won't hold you to these. Actually, I will hold you exactly to these. If you had to pick an NBA Finals right now, next year, off of what you've seen, I will actually go first. Shocking. I'm going to go with Denver. again, I can't laud what the Nuggets have done enough. Like, this is how you take care of a superstar player. You put pieces around to make him not want to leave. And Jokic like parade, Jokic like horses, Jokic like beer at parade. Jokic, his horse won this weekend. Shout out to Joker because he needs any more success in his life. But I love what Denver's done. I think the Cam Johnson, the open looks that Cam Johnson's going to get in Denver are they're going to blow your freaking mind. I like Denver in a couple of different spots. Plus 500 to win the Northwest Division, second, obviously, to Oklahoma City. Plus 500 to win the West, second to Houston and Oklahoma City. And plus 800 to be the champs. They are third to Houston and Oklahoma City. In the East, it's Detroit. And I know that's a stretch, but I'm going to give you some numbers that make it very, very, very interesting. Detroit's plus 750 to win the Central behind Cleveland and Milwaukee that we aren't even really sure what Milwaukee's going to be. So I think if you were to jump on that now, knowing what they've done, then, oh my God, our comment section's going crazy. I'll get to them here in a second. Look at a couple of good ones in there. 750 to win the Central. They're plus 1,700 to win the East. And we've talked about this a lot, guys. The East is so damn wide open this year. I think plus 1,700. And again, I think it's a lot of people aren't understanding how big of a superstar that Cade Cunningham is, and he's just going to keep getting better. Mm-hmm. And to win the title, there are plus 7,000 that makes him 17. So I would go Denver and Detroit on an exact matchup right now. I think it'd be interesting. TJ, I'm going to pop a couple of these comments up here. We've got I want you to see these before you go because there's a couple of them. Yeah. What are you doing, Herb Raj? How do you forget about my Nuggets? And this is an all-timer here. And when you see who sent it, it's going to make perfect sense to you.
Yeah, buddy.
The OJ series, Rockets and Knicks. I do believe the Knicks with Mike Brown can absolutely get there and with the moves they've made. Skip the OJ finals. So did OJ, Roger, or whichever one's jumping in. It might be both of them today. I don't know. All right, T. Who's your way too early finals prediction before I give the solution to fix the NBA and we get some liquid locks and some dollar dingers?
Way too early. Way too early. Thunder and Knicks.
Wow, I think this is the year that on a limb with that one,
right? You know, I'm just impressed on how the Thunder play the long game here. And the Knicks, I do believe that Mike Brown is the right guy to get them over the hump. So there will be madness in the Garden this year, but I'm not going to tell you if they're going to win or lose yet.
Wow, good job, Switzerland. All right, Vegas Mac, what do you have for us?
All right. Like I said, I'm all in on Houston. I love what they did. They got to the number 2 seed without, like I said, without a Kevin Durant. They have them. I think Houston in the West. I like Atlanta in the East. I think if this is the year Trae Young, they've got enough around him to kind of hide his defensive deficiencies. If he can't do it this year with the team that he has, then this Hawks team is in trouble. But I like Atlanta.
Well, here's the thing with Houston. If Houston doesn't have to play the Warriors, they're fine. If they have to play the Warriors, they're out in the second round, first round, whenever they meet up with the Warriors. That's their kryptonite in the playoffs. I don't care who you put in the Rockets.
Right.
All right, guys. A lot of people talk about this. I think with the NBA on NBC going back to showing us intros, starting lineups again, like some people are like, well, I don't need to see this. I want to hear analysts. Well, okay. Also tell us you're allergic to fun without telling us you're allergic to fun. I think the nostalgia of going back to the NBA on NBC is going to help a lot next year. But we've talked about this. In the regular season, nobody really watches. Couple of things at play here. You're going head up with the NFL, which is a losing proposition. You're going head up with college football, a losing proposition. The season is too damn long, I tell you. 70 games. This is what I want. 70 games, opening nights, if you will. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Because in reality, what do we always say? Nobody really watches the NBA until we get to Christmas anyways. Christmas Eve, there is literally nothing on. It's like the day after the MLB All-Star game. What do you got on? The ESPYs, and that's it. Same thing. I think you'd have a fantastic set of eyeballs on Christmas Eve. Regular season ends mid-May-ish. Again, I'm still working this all out. Adam, you can send me the check anytime you want to. The play-in tournament. TJ's favorite thing in the world. That happens over Memorial Day weekend. I would even love to, if we're all about in-season tournament and the championship in Vegas, you know what? Give me the play-in tournament over Memorial Day weekend at a neutral site. Put everybody there. Let's make it happen. NBA Finals. You're going to love this one because Rob Manfred's an idiot and he doesn't know what to do with Memorial Day. So you could take that because he's not using it. He doesn't know what to do with 4th of July. You could take that because he's not using that either. You start the NBA Finals on or around the 4th of July every year. You take the first round down to a best of 5. Draft and free agency starts in mid-July. And can we get rid of the aprons? It kills everything. I'm fine if you want to penalize teams at a staggered tax rate. You know, okay, if you spend this much, you're going to pay this, you're going to pay this, but stop taking away their mid-level exceptions and their ability to aggregate. If a team is dumb enough to go the super team route, and that's what they want to do, we've seen that it doesn't always work. Hence the Phoenix Suns. And there's been other examples. That's just been the most recent one. Fine, you want to build a super team? Go for it. You're going to pay a hefty tax penalty, but none of this. And the other thing with the aprons is it just pisses everybody off because they don't understand. I will be the commissioner of the NBA on 2K if I played it. What do you think of my new NBA plan?
I mean, I see what you're saying. I definitely understand the getting rid of the number of games. I mean, that definitely, I mean, because here's the thing. I mean, from a fan standpoint, you know, going to a game and knowing that, you know, your favorite player is not playing because of, you know, rest management or whatever it is, you know, kind of sucks. So if you take away some of those games, that may help that just a little bit. Yeah, the apron and all that stuff. I mean, it just to the normal fan, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, it's unlike, again, like any other sport. I just don't understand it. I mean, like you're penalizing teams because they want to spend money and they want all these superstars. Who cares? If that's what they want to do, then let them do that. But it's way too confusing. I don't even, you know, pretend to even and look at this. It would seem weird though, but having basketball in, you know, around the 4th of July, although they're almost there anyway, you know, they're playing to the end of, you know, just about to the end of June. So I don't know. I guess we kind of think of basketball as a winter sport instead of a, you know, summer sport. But for the most part, they're playing in June anyway.
I told you guys one of the animals was going to make an appearance. Meowie McMeowerton start trying for a starring role on the show. He probably understands the apron as much as we do. And I think, T, like, before I get your thoughts on it, I'm going to put this back up here. You know, I think that's exactly kind of what I was getting at there from the fan perspective, this apron and I mean, if you really take the time to read into it, you can understand it. But I think it just leads to more confusion than anything. And again, I say, if you're dumb enough to try and build a super team, go for it. It doesn't mean you're going to win.
No, you're exactly right. And here's the thing. The NBA needs fans like me. They need fans like me to want to spend the money to go to a game. And and the NBA, I'll be honest with you, as far as watching it in person, is so far down my list that I'd rather watch the surviving members of Led Zeppelin pissing on a wall live than go to an NBA game. It is that atrocious. The quality of the game stinks. I would love to see 66 games. Remember the strike year remember the strike year when they played like 60 games or 64 games? That was perfect. And it was exactly like you said. It started at Christmas. They wrapped it up and it was all nice and great. These leagues thing and the NHL is adding more games. No, you're going the wrong way here. We need fewer games so the quality of the game is better. If I had $400 to sit on the wall at the Clipper game and the Stars I don't see whoever else. I don't see any of these players playing. Why am I here? Why am I spending money in this building to watch players that I don't even, who are 9, 10, 11 on the bench? So I say, I agree with you. Fewer games, shorten the season, get rid of this load management garbage, and then I might be interested. But until then, Robert Plant gets my money.
Yeah, as long as we don't have to see the surviving members of Led Zeppelin pissing on a wall. Speaking of more games for the NHL, the CBA that we mentioned a couple of times last week has now been ratified, and 84 games and a bunch of other stuff. We will talk about that on Thursday. All right, guys, before we get out of here, we can't get out of here without a couple of things. Liquid locks last week. We went 5-4, 3-2 on Wednesday. I went 1-1. Mac went 1-1. And of course, Mr. Over on the right side of your screen there, he went 1-0 with another over. So 5-4 last week. We'll do some dollar dingers here. Which one do you want to do first, fellas? Do we want to do dollar dingers first?
Dingers. Let's do dingers first.
All right, dollar dingers. I will start us off, and I am going to Coors Field of California tonight for the Western Sacramento, maybe Las Vegas, Henderson County Nomads, as RJ the Computer Geek named them earlier. That'll be their name for this week. Take on the Braves. And I'm going to go with the Law Dog tonight, Lawrence Butler, to leave that tiny little bandbox with their plastic seats. So Lawrence Butler is my pick tonight. Mac, you can go second on this one.
All right, I'm going with Alec Burleson. He's going up against the Nationals tonight, and Jake Irvin. He's given up 20 home runs so far this year in his 18 starts. Burleson 2-5 in his career, including a home run. So that's what I'm going with.
Tejota, give me a dinger.
I am going to Petco. Are they playing in Petco? I don't remember.
Yes, we have confirmed that they are playing in Petco.
I am taking Fernando Tatis Jr., who in 28 at-bats against Merrill Kelly has 4 home runs. He is hitting .357 with an OPS of 1240. This guy, adios pelota tonight.
Shout out John Miller. That will pay a combined, very cool, plus 11,415. 11415. I like that. So $1 on that will win you $114.15. Place bet live on the air so people don't think we're full of crap. Now, it's time for some liquid locks. And I'm going to get us started there. I've got a 2-legger today. It's always better to have 2 legs than 1 leg or a 3rd leg or anything like that. The Minnesota Twins, a lot of struggles as of late. They did take 2 or 3 from the Rays. They get my team I told you about at the beginning of the year, the Chicago Cubs. Tonight, it is Shota Imanaga and Simeon Woods Richardson. I think the Twins are the team in the Central that's really got to go here, and I think they're best built to go. Not that they're going to catch the Tigers, but I'm going to take the Twins on the money line tonight, and then I'm going back to Coors Field in California. A's and Braves over 10.5. Put those together, it's a plus 310. TJ, because Vegas Mac doesn't go second on liquid locks because we're not sure what the hell stunt he's going to pull. Give me your liquid lock for the night.
Well, since I've been money with the overs lately, I'm going to throw you a curveball, and I'm going to Anaheim tonight with a tremendous pitching matchup of Nathan Eovaldi and Jose Soriano. Jose Soriano is quickly becoming the ace of this staff. But every so often, he kind of goes off the rails. He went off the rails 2 starts ago against Washington, where he allowed 8 runs. And then he went off the rails about 5 starts ago against the Red Sox. But right now, he's in a spot where if this pattern continues, he should be really good tonight. Going against Nathan Eovaldi, who has a 1.75 ERA, I am taking under 8.5 at the old Yard tonight.
Give you a couple days off and you get soft on me. You're betting unders now.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
What'd you get the under at?
8.5.
8.5. All right. The man that made us rename the segment, Mr. Liquid Locks, with his flowing locks on top of that shiny ass head. Give me your liquid lock, Vegas Mick.
All right, I got two, and they're both on the mound tonight. We're gonna go to Petco again.
Oh,
Merrill
God.
Kelly on the mound tonight. I'm going the under 17 and a half outs. Under 17 and a half outs tonight for Merrill Kelly, Diamondbacks and Padres. But wait, you know what tonight is, baby? The Miz! The Miz is pitching tonight. And so we're going with the Miz over 14 and a half outs. We're going with the Miz because he's awesome.
Jacob Mizorowski, for those of you that don't know. And yes, we do watch wrestling, and we're not afraid to admit it. All right, so there you go. You know what? Screw it. Thanks to Austin Slater and Mike Yastrzemski that started my weekend off with a bang. And I thought I was going to be hot in a way different way than I was this weekend. I'm going to actually just bet that whole thing together. So
There you go.
show tomorrow, show on Thursday. Thursday, we will put a bow on the NHL season and talk about this new CBA, which has got some interesting points and more games, because that's what we all want and in our life. TJ, what's coming up tonight on your end of the NHL free agency roundabout? Are you going? Oh, I know. What's on tap for our followers on our social channels tonight in your end of the year recap series?
Well, tonight I am going north of the border to have a late celebration of Canada Day, and we're going to talk about a couple of teams who are going in opposite directions.
Is one of those teams Mac's favorite team north of the border?
One of those teams is Mac's favorite team north of the border, and the other team is just a little bit down the QEW, a little ways. And they share a couple of colors.
All right. Tomorrow, a little bit talk on the Genesis Scottish Open. Mike versus Mac will go out tomorrow on our social channels. I'm not waving the white flag because it's not in my DNA. So to everybody that commented today, we appreciate you. Herb and Raj, Bill V, RJ the Computer Geek, You Got Ross, everybody. Tell your friends, tag your friends, tell them to watch. I mean, what else are you doing in the middle of a freaking day other than acting like you're actually working at work? So for everybody behind the scenes, for Tej, for Vegas Mac, I'm Mike. Talk to you tomorrow. We're out.